I was 13 at the time. I wasn't in middle school. Our school was pretty small and nothing ever really happened. So I never been in any dangerous situation at the school. Before this day, it was the start of the day and I had just gotten to my second period class, which for me was English. The class went by as usual with lectures and reading example writings. It was one of my least favorite classes as I just found it boring. Anyways, the class was silent as we were supposed to be reading an example paper when suddenly the speaker makes a loud beep and turns on.
We are now in lockdown. This is not a drill.
Everyone in the class began looking around at each other, confused and a little nervous. Like I said, I just never thought anything would ever happen here. So it was really shocking and confusing to hear that we were in lockdown, and it made me wonder what was actually going on. After a few seconds, my teacher started taking command and told us all to line up on the side of the wall by the door. Then he rushed to lock the door and turn off all the lights, but I guess the power cut out before he was able to himself. A couple of the girls in the class started crying a little, which I understand as it was a very stressful and suspenseful situation. I wanna say almost 10 minutes went by with absolutely no sounds or anything, for sudden running footsteps could be heard going through the hallway outside of our classroom. Once they reached our class, they stopped abruptly. I could feel the whole room holding their breath as they waited, listening nervously. Then a boy started banging on the door, leading us to be let into the classroom. I was honestly terrified, as couldn't tell how old the boy sounded, and I looked over at my teacher. He looked equally as terrified as all of us. He got up and moved towards the door slowly, looking through the window. Then he quickly opened the door and let the boy in. I recognized him from just seeing him walking around in the hallways before, but we never had any classes together. My teacher asked if he was okay and then told him to sit along the wall with all of us. Once we were all settled again, I leaned over and whispered to him, asking what happened. He said he was in the bathroom during the lockdown and waited for a while before some middle-aged man came and started banging on all the stall doors. Apparently, once the guy banged on his stall, he crawled on the side of the stall and made a run for it. Luckily, the man only chased him down a small hallway before letting off. The sends chills down my body as if I suddenly realized that this was really happening and we were in real danger by some crazy guy. Not even a minute later, clear, loud footsteps were heard approaching our classroom door. Some of the other kids in the room were holding their mouths shut, trying to muffle their crying, as a single bang on the door echoes through the room. A few seconds later, 2 or 3 more sets of footsteps walked up to the door and the group began talking to each other. It was too muffled to hear what we were saying, but knowing that it was a whole group of dangerous men made my stomach drop. I looked over at my teacher, who was trying to calm one of the girls, but even he seemed terrified. Then one of the men outside yelled and all their footsteps ran away. I guess the cops had finally shown up. I could feel the sense of relief from the whole class. We stayed there for another 20 minutes before it was all finally clear, and then the situation was dismissed. Apparently, a whole group of sketch guys walked in, asking to pull out one of their kids from a class. Obviously, none of them were actually parents to any of kids, so whole thing escalated and they forced their way into the building. That's about all we were told, but it was definitely a situation that I will remember for the rest of my